because that was the Lakers this year, or at least coming into the upcoming season. Again, you know, talking about they're gathering a lot of I don't know aging players. I think they have half of the oldest players in the league on that one roster.
Well,
Are they going to be the
they're not
good?
gathering aging players. They're gathering old players. Go ahead and say it, Chris. Let it roll off your tongue. Old players.
I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be. I don't want to be rude. So who's the team? You got the Brooklyn Nets. Oh, by the way, what do you think of Ben Simmons saying he doesn't want to be in Philadelphia? What would you? How would you handle that?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out. He's bad at something, and he's mad because they want him to work on his craft. They're paying him $40 million a year. This is one of the reasons I said earlier. One of the reasons I'm gonna walk away from this thing pretty soon. We got a guy making $40 million for the next 4 years. They ask him to work on his game because every time they get in the playoffs, he went 4 games in a 7-game series that didn't take a shot in the fourth quarter, and he's mad at the team. That's one of the reasons I don't like the situation that we're dealing with today, where the players make so much money they're 100% in control. I mean, you think about that. This guy makes $40 million a year. The team get on his ass to work on his game, and his thing is, I don't want to play here anymore. And anybody who thinks that's a good way to do business is just an idiot. Period.
Okay, so we have that situation. We have the Lakers. What about the Brooklyn Nets? I'm trying to get you. Give me your where we are now, the top three teams, or maybe your top how you rank the best teams going into the NBA season.
Well, clearly the Lakers are going to be good, and the Brooklyn Nets are going to be good, but the Milwaukee Bucks are the champs. So, to me, those are the top 3 teams in the NBA right now, in no particular order. No particular order, but you got to
Okay.
get the champs their respect. You got to get the champs their respect. But it's going to be, like I say, once LeBron started the arms race thing, it becomes an arm race. He did it in Miami. And then when he got to LA, he made his agency trade for Anthony Davis, and that made them a really, really good team. And they
Hmm.
probably would have arguably won the championship again this year if Anthony Davis had been healthy. So
Right.
now the Nets get together. So LeBron has to go out and get Russell Westbrook. So listen, it's not a lot of fun working basketball when you know who's going to win. Um,
Right. Right.
but it is what it is, brother.
Yeah. Now have you talked to LeBron a little bit about this, or are you guys on good terms, or does he not like what you say?
We're on
Because
great
he's
terms.
kind of a
Me and
polarizing.
LeBron,
Yeah.
we're on great terms. He's always treated me great. I actually think he's one of the most amazing men I've ever met. But we don't have to agree on everything. I respect
Fair enough.
him. I admire him. I think he respects me. But I can have an opinion about him that is not favorable as far as basketball related. Uh, I'm not in this generation where if a guy says something about me, I feel the need to not speak to him or not ever, address it or whatever. So I think me and LeBron are cool.
You played against Michael Jordan, of course, and we don't want to sound old school here, like, hey, back in the day, this guy was better. But that debate, I always like coming back to with you because you are so candid about things. There isn't much debate in your mind that Michael, if we're talking, we could go eras and all that, but best of all time, if we did single it down, you're going Jordan over LeBron, right? That's without a question.
Yeah, I think for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think the game is a lot easier nowadays. I mean, one thing I noticed about that Last Dance thing was, wow, they beat the hell
Mhm.
out of Michael Jordan. You forget,
Sure.
even though you realize they were called the bad boys for a reason. But when you sit down and saw him just getting his ass kicked for 3 years, like physically beaten up, and then you see he didn't go join a super team. He like, no, I'm gonna fight my way through this, and he did. And that to me is
Yeah.
the first thing, fighting through that. And like I said, he could have joined a super team if he wanted to. We all could have, but we
Right.
didn't. But when I look at that Last Dance and what Michael went through instead of joining a super team, that to me will always give him the edge. And let's be fair, I haven't even moved LeBron past Kobe from what
Wow.
I saw LeBron's an amazing talent. He's an amazing person. But when I'm talking about if I got a basketball game where I need one guy, I'm gonna go with Michael and Kobe, and probably maybe LeBron might be third on that list, up there with Magic and Bird and guys like that. But as far as my personal opinion, especially after watching The Last Dance,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna give Michael the edge.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you saw that playing against Michael or not back in your day, that physical part of it. But speaking of that, if we said the
Well, listen.
95,
Let's get one thing straight. Hey, Chris,
yeah,
the
yeah,
only physical team out there trying to hurt people were those jackass Detroit Pistons. Like the Knicks. In fairness, the Knicks had some physical players,
yep,
but but they were not out there trying to hurt people like the bad boys. They were out there like
yeah,
physically,
yeah,
when we played against the Pistons, it was like you knew it was going to be a war that night. But like I say, going back and experiencing that last dance, and Michael, people forget Michael lost those guys 3 years in a row,
yep, yep.
and but he
Yeah,
just
Bill
kept getting
Laimbeer.
bigger and stronger. I mean, they had a bunch of dudes over there who out there like they were going to use their 6 fouls a night.
Yep, yep. Those Laimbeer, Vinnie Johnson. So how about this? 95 Bulls or the 2015 Warriors? Who's the better team in your opinion? Who wins a 7-game series?
Well, I don't think Michael ever even got to a 7 game series in the finals. So he was not going to
Yeah, you
lose
might.
once he get to the finals. That never even had a 7 game in 6 years and
That's is
six times to the finals.
wow.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yep.
And and listen, that Warriors team, Steph and Clay are unbelievable. But are they going to score like that against Michael and Scotty? Hell no. Hell no.
Okay.
I've never
All
seen
right. I
two.
guess.
Uh, I've never seen two better defenders than Michael and Scotty. And and I've always said this: as great a player as Dennis Rodman was, I thought when the Bulls had Horace Grant, they were better defensively
Yep.
because Horace Grant was
Yep.
great defensively.
Yep.
I
Yep.
thought that Bulls team. I always have thought that Bulls team with Horace Grant was better than the ones with the Rodman group, in my personal opinion, because Horace
Yep.
Grant was a better all-around player than Dennis Rodman. He wasn't a better
That's right.
rebounder, but as far as being an all-around basketball player, Horace Grant was a better player.
Right. Yep. No, I agree. And we know Rodman defense rebounding, but obviously scoring was not his forte. What I was going to ask you, and I know you don't like to talk about 93, and Paxson hits the go-ahead three there, and the seconds remain. Is that like one of the most painful? Is that the most painful moment in your playing career?
Probably, yeah, for sure. It was because when I got traded to Phoenix, I remember talking to Cotton Fitzsimmons and I said, "Well, we're going to the finals." This is when I first got traded to Phoenix. I said, "We're going to the finals. We're going to pay the Bulls." And I said, "Michael's a great, great player, but I think I'm just as good, to be honest with you." And I said, "I'm gonna get a chance to prove it." I said, "I've never had any help in Philly, and I got Dan and Kevin. We're going to the finals. We're gonna see who I think I'm the best." Uh, and that was a really pain because that was the first. That's really probably honestly the first time in my life I felt like that guy's better than me. Even when I'm playing against Magic and Bird, I'm like, those guys ain't better than me. They just got more help. They got Kareem Worthy, he got Bird,
Right.
McHale, and Parrish. But as far as like, no, ain't no Michael Jordan's the only player I'm thinking like is good who's on my level. And I got a chance to prove it, and I came up short. That's on me.
But you at least got that chance, obviously, and moved on to some other things. I want to just cover some other things because through the course of it all, you being a dad, and we're just talking about we think we see you as an announcer, as this former great player, Hall of Famer, Olympic team. What's the greatest challenge about being a father? I know your daughter recently married. Congratulations on that. But through the years, how is Charles Barkley as a father? How would you describe that?
Well, Chris, it means a great deal to me to be a good dad. Uh, she is an amazing kid. I always tried to get her ready for the rest of the world. I wanted to make sure she was tough. I wanted to make sure she was smart because the one thing I didn't want was her having to rely on a man. Because a lot of men treat women bad when they pay all the bills and they're in complete control. I'm like, you never got to worry about that. So she went to great schools. She loved going to Villanova. She loves going to Columbia.